Good morning and welcome to my Monday messages. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rebecca. I'm a homeopath and a holistic health coach and natural health advocate. And I just come in here every Monday live, 10 o'clock, just to share a thought, a practice, an idea even for the week to help us to become more conscious of ourselves and what works for us and what doesn't work for us. So welcome to a lovely July morning. What a fabulous week we've had. Oh my God. Who needs the Mediterranean when you live in rural Ireland with these temperatures? I'm very, very blessed to live in what I think is one of the most beautiful places on earth. And when the sun is shining and there's heat out there, it's just stunning. So I'm very pleased that I managed to get to the beach and have a swim in the beautiful sea just about every day. So I hope that you managed to enjoy the heat wave as well. So you're very welcome if you're joining me live, and you're equally welcome if you're catching the replay. And if you are, do leave your comments, do give me a thumbs up, just to let me know that you're there. That would be lovely. So today's message really was, well, it was born out of several things actually. And for those of you who know me, I really love where I live, and I've just described how I regard where I live. It's just heaven here, I think. Yes, it has its dark moments, like anywhere. There is a lot of rain, and sometimes the seasons all kind of blend into one. But my goodness, it's taught me a lot. And I am originally from London, and I have lived in many other places as well. But this is the longest I've ever lived anywhere. And I'm hugely grateful to it because it has become my place. It's given me the time to slow down and to connect with my piece of land, my Kerry in the wider sense, Ireland in an even wider sense, but actually just bringing it closer to home, just the piece of land that I'm very blessed to live on. And I've just read a book actually, which I really recommend that you read. It's just fantastic. Maybe some of you already have. I know this is the wrong way round. If Women Rose Rooted by Sharon Blackie. Just a fabulous, fabulous book. And it's compounded a lot of what I already felt, but also given me a lot of food for thought, if you like. And it's the story really of the author's journey to find herself, but a lot of it very much rooted, excuse me, in her connection with the land and with the earth that she actually lives on. And her relationship with that very much mirrors her ability to reconnect with herself and to do what really serves her, what really nurtures her. And there is this kind of symbiotic relationship eventually between her nurturing of herself and the people that she loves and the land that she lives on. And it's an integral part of her health. And a lot of the stories that she tells in this book are rooted in the Celtic tradition, because that's her tradition. And it's actually my tradition. And in fact, more so than I first realised when I came to live here. We've recently done some ancestral work and found that actually a much higher proportion than we thought originally, me and my sisters, of our ancestry, if you like, is Irish Celt. We knew there was Scots Celt and we knew there was Welsh Celt in our blood. And there's also a lot of Irish Celt blood, as well as some Southern Indian, but that's another story. Anyway, it's a mixture, I suppose, of being here as long as I have, but also being in the place that I am in and having the time to really contemplate this piece of land that I live on, that I do feel rooted here. I feel connected with the land that I live on. And I wanted to encourage you this week to try and, well, first of all, become aware of how connected are you with the land that you live on. And I don't think you have to have a massive garden or a field, or, you don't even have to have a garden at all, actually, to be connected with the land that you live on. But part of those mythical and historical Celtic stories, the theme is that in those days, women's role was to have sovereignty over the land and all the natural things that come from the land. So the plants, the trees, the water, the animals. This was our domain, if you like. We were the keepers, the custodians, the guardians of all of those natural phenomenon. And I was going to say resources, and they are resources. We have made them resources, but we need to give back. And that was very much what women's role was to ensure that not too much was taken without something being given back. And our men were very respectful of that. And we lived in harmony largely because we had that mutual respect. But we were very much connected with the land and with nurturing and mothering, if you like. And you don't have to be an actual mother to grow into your mothering instinct. And good morning, I think that's Olivia. I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm not great at seeing. I think that's Olivia. Good morning, Olivia. Thanks for the thumbs up. So I wanted to encourage us to get back to that connection, feeling connected with the land that you live on. And I'm not talking about nationalism. I'm not talking about going as wide as that, although that helps, obviously. But I'm thinking more, good morning, Olivia. I'm talking about more being in connection with the actual area, the land that you live on. So even if you live in a city, you can be looking out at your view and you can look at all the buildings and you can feel connected with it in some way. You can have a sense of place. Good morning, Marianne. You're very welcome. And a sense of, this is where I come from. And I don't think you have to be born there to do that. I mean, I wasn't born in Ireland. I was born in London. And I feel really rooted and connected to the place that I live in currently. So I wanted to encourage you this week to think about how connected you are with the piece of land that you live on. And if you don't feel very connected, and I'm not talking about your house, by the way, even if you don't have a garden, the building that you live in sits on a piece of land. So maybe you could find a public space, a park or a green, a tree even, a plant even, something that you pass perhaps on a regular basis that you could just become more aware of. Perhaps find out what kind of tree is it. If there are birds that you notice every day, you hear every morning, well, which birds are they? What can I find out what bird song I'm listening to and I'm appreciating every day? Can I find out about that bird? Why is that bird here? Where does it go when it's not present? Insects too, even just noticing insects. So just connecting in some way with the natural world that you inhabit and noticing what it gives you. being still enough to actually sit and look at it and just appreciate it and see what you notice. It's amazing when we're still and we can look and really drink in where we are and just listen, use all our five senses to listen and absorb and drink in everything that it gives us, because it does give us a lot. It gives us a lot of pleasure, but it also gives us a lot of resources. But I want to come away from it being a one-sided process. I would love us to get back to that symbiotic relationship that we had once as women, that we were the guardians of this beautiful earth that we live on, and that we do what we can to give back. So that's another thing to ask yourself this week, is if you are getting, whatever you're getting from your piece of land, wherever that might be, your place, what do you give back to it? Can you give back in some way? Can you put a bird table out? Can you plant a plant? Can you water a plant? Can you notice an animal that needs water? I mean, there are a lot of animals around at the moment who are very thirsty. So, unfortunately, some people forget about animals like horses. I've heard a lot of stories of horses being left without any access to water in this heat, and they're very grateful for any kind of water. Anything at all, really, that you can give back. Can you protect it in some way? Can you encourage as much biodiversity as you can? I've completely changed the way that I am regarding the little patch of land that we have. We've had lots of plans for years of what we were going to do to it or with it. And I've pulled right back from that. I'm actually now reveling in the wildness of it, the fact that it changes with the seasons, all the different plants and flowers, wildflowers that come up, and therefore all the different insects and birds and butterflies and all of the things that are attracted to it. They're stunning. And I want to keep that as my gift to this earth, is to allow it to be itself, really. And I'm even going to plant some oak trees, because Ireland used to be covered in oak, and oak is such a special, special tree, and a beautiful, beautiful homeopathic remedy, by the way. Very good for these times that we live in, gives strength and helps endurance and all sorts of things. Anyway, that's an aside. But I want to plant some oak trees because I want to leave a legacy of as much abundance as I can, I guess. So that's what I wanted to encourage, not only because it's good for the planet, it's good for the earth, it's good to be nurturing it and encouraging its wildness, encouraging as many plants and trees and insects and birds as we possibly can, and animals, of course. We cannot exist without it. It doesn't matter how long we go on ignoring it. We cannot survive without a healthy earth. And it's tempting to think, oh, that's too big. That's too big. I can't possibly think about that. It's just too, it's too out there. So don't. Just think about where you live. Can you change your relationship with where you live? Instead of thinking of it as an endless resource, what can you do to give back to it? What can you do to protect it and to nurture it for its own sake? Not because it gives you something, not because it's a commodity in some way, but just because it is. And see if you can put those roots down and feel really that you're part of this place. Because when we feel that, it's like having firm foundations. We need those foundations. A tree needs a really solid root system in order to reach for the sky. It can't thrust upwards without having those firm roots. So part of our self-development and part of our feeling ourselves fully is about having those firm roots. And I think you can cultivate that. Well, I know you can cultivate it wherever you are if you choose to. So yeah, that's my message this Monday, really, was just to encourage you to do that, to just spend some time connecting with wherever it is that you live. And you may already be doing that, and in which case I salute you. But don't ever think that you can't do anything to help the planet and leave a better place for your children or for other people's children, for future generations, because you can. We all can. And it would be wonderful if, as women, we could spearhead that. In fact, I know we are across the globe. There are so many female-led organisations now that are actually taking action and doing things. One of the charities that I support is Tree Sisters. Amazing charity who are just planting trees wherever they can, and even just €10 a month will plant quite a few trees, actually. So it's money well spent. So even if you can't look after your immediate environment, but I'm sure you can, then you can put your money to good in terms of cultivating this wonderful earth that we live on, and feeling that you are part of it and that you are going back to your ancestral roots, which is to be guardians of this beautiful place we live in. So I think I've probably rambled along enough. I hope that resonates with you. Maybe you do already feel connected with your place, your sense of place. Let me know with a yes or a no whether you already do. And if there's anything that you do that's just a simple kind of giving back, then do share that, because that could inspire somebody else, or me even. And if you can, I do recommend that you read this wonderful book, If Women Rose Rooted, Sharon Blackie. Very inspirational book, and very interesting stories if you're in any way connected with Celtic history. Okay, let me just check that I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Yeah, I think I have, really. Okay, have a wonderful week, and water a plant, draw a tree, or just sit and look and feel the wind on your face and watch the season. Okay, bye.